Good morning, people. It is Wednesday, so it's time for my midweek pickup. Today, I would like to talk about not sugarcoating shit, period. Because it comes a time where sometimes you can't sugarcoat things because if you do sugarcoat it, then you're not going to be helping the person that you're talking to or you're trying to help out. Especially if there's somebody that you care about. If you have somebody that you really care about and they come to you for advice, what are you sugarcoating it for? Especially if it's something that they need to know and it's something that they need to hear. Now, if you go in and you sugarcoat it, it's going to make their situation worse, and they're not going to be able to learn anything from what you are trying to tell them. I have people who come to me sometimes for advice and everything, and there was a point where I would sugarcoat a lot of things. I would try and um, not feed into their ego, but try and lay it on them to where it won't hurt. And so it'll be a little bit easier on them, and then they go and they might apply the advice that I give, but then let's say it may have worked for a few weeks or something, and then it gets back to the same situation that it was before they asked for the advice, or it doesn't work at all, and then they're coming back for advice again, and then you have to kind of change it up a little bit, be a little more rough than you were the first time, and that's not helping them at all, and that's not really helping you either, because when somebody trusts you enough to come to you for advice about things, the best thing for you to do is to give them raw emotional truth, because if you don't, then they're going to think that it's marshmallow. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna think that, hey, maybe it's not as important that I thought that it was, or maybe I'm taking it a little too seriously. For him for this advice, and he's telling me, hey, take it easy, do this, do that. But really, when you're not supposed to be taking it easy, you're supposed to be, what I'm saying, especially if it has something to do with somebody else, a significant other, somebody at work, your children, whatever the case may be. Sometimes you got to be raw in their face and tell them what the hell they don't want to hear. Because if you don't do that, then you're not really helping them. Again, um, it's just real funny because with me, I'm my toughest critic, especially when it comes to my food or whatever. I'm my toughest critic ever. So somebody could tell me something is good, but then me on the other hand, I'm looking like this crap was terrible. You know what I'm saying? But that's because I feel like, hey, I know what I'm capable of. I know what my potential is. So you might be telling me it's good to spare my feelings or whatever the case may be, but me on the inside, I already know that, hey, this was nowhere near my best. You know what I'm saying? This was like some bull crap. You know what I'm saying? And I know what I'm capable of, and this was no way near my expectations. You never want yes people around you. You never want somebody who's always going to be like, oh man, it's great. Oh man, I'm glad you did that. And they thinking in the back of their mind, man, that was the stupidest shit this nigga ever could have did. You know what I'm saying? We have to realize that if we're not raw and truthful about things, then everything's gonna be soft. Everything's gonna be paper tiger. You know what I'm saying? Everything's gonna be so marshmallow that in their mind they're thinking that, hey, I did what I had to do, but no, you didn't do what you had to do because your problem is still there. All you did was put you a little nice little pallet down, you laid on your problem, and then you covering up with a nice thick comforter or whatever. It's soft. That's not what you need in your life. You need, again, raw emotional truths. If you don't get that from somebody when you're seeking it, like I said, you're not going to be helping them. You're not going to be helping yourself. Um, there will be a change in scenery starting next week with the midweek pickups. I might not have this white wall behind me anymore, because everybody knows where I am when I usually do my midweek pickups. But the scene is about to change, and it's about to change forever. So I just wanted y'all to know, if you see me in different settings and everything like that, it's because I went on and took that jump that I needed to take. And long time coming, long preparation, long trying to get your mind right for something that you're really passionate about and to take that jump into. But I got to piggyback off of what my boy Steve Harvey said. If you don't ever jump, you're never going to live the life that you want to live. You're never going to be able to live because you're always so scared. But when you do take that jump, like Steve said, you might get cuts, bruises, or whatever the case may be, especially if you're taking that jump off a cliff. But it's in God's promise to save you, so He will open your parachute at some point in time. It might not be immediately when you jump, because sometimes we do have to go through the cuts and bruises of life or whatever in order to appreciate what we're really going out there to really get. But God is always going to open that parachute for you. And you know what I'm saying? Me personally, I just want to, I know he don't listen to my midweek pickups or whatever, but I want to thank Steve Harvey for that, because it's a lot of things that he has said that I've shared on my Facebook with y'all, trying to kind of get people into perspective and get people to know, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to be capped with what you're doing. You are destined for greatness. There is a gift that God has bestowed upon you. It's all about if you use your gift to your advantage. That's what makes the difference. That's what's going to get you from living check to check to living abundantly. You know what I'm saying? Because really, if you think about it, yeah, we all working, we all are busting, you know what I'm saying, our ass or whatever to do what we need to do for work and for our family and everything like that. But if you have a gift that God has given you and you're not using it, what are you waiting for? What are you scared for? Because you're already living check to check. What more is what else is there, you know? And trust me, I know people gonna be like, well, I'm living check to check now, but if I do this, then I won't be living, nothing to nothing. That's not completely true, because if you have something that's great and something that is a viable resource, if you're in a field that you know there's always going to be demand for, you are going to make it, especially if you have good product. So try and leave this short and sweet today. Like I said, don't sugarcoat anything. Tell people what's real. It may come off bad or whatever, and you know how to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying be mean and evil with it or whatever. You know how far you can take it, and you know what you need to do to get through to a certain person, especially if it's somebody that you know. You know what you need to say to them, because if you don't say it, nobody else is going to tell them, and they're going to think that everything is fine and dandy when everything is in chaos and in confusion and everything like that. But with that being said, I will see y'all next week. Stay prayed up, stay encouraged and everything. Put God first, family second. Everything else will follow. Remember, follow your dreams. Do not stay constricted, and don't stay capped off by something that you hate doing, something that's draining your life away, because we will age faster than we're supposed to, especially with added stress and being unhappy. Find what you need to do to make yourself happy and do it, and continue to do it. Life is about being happy and living. It's not about working like a slave, not spending time with your family, and not doing the things that you want to do in life. Of course, you need to be able to support your family and yourself, but at the same time, what's the point when you're always mad and negative and just have that dark cloud over you? What is the real point? There is not one. With that being said, I'll see y'all next week in a new scene. Peace out. Y'all have a good week.